climbing the rating ladder, as I did last time. Right, let's see what opponent we get. The idea is that I play players that are perhaps weaker than me, and then I comment on their mistakes so we could learn from them. Right, the Queen's Gambit, the Slav. I guess I'll go for knight f3. And knight c3, just like Ding Liren did. Here bishop g5. I have a couple of lines here. The question is if I will be able to remember. Ooh, my opponent is also streaming. Nice, nice. That's so cool though. My opponent is streaming as well as me. What was the move again? I think it was h4. Yeah. And the knight e5 after g4, I think. Then rook g8, bishop e2. It's very unclear. This move I don't remember seeing. Maybe I've mixed up some lines, I don't know. Could be. The pawn on e4 might be hanging if I play bishop e2, because then b4, then she can take on e4. Yeah, I wonder if I mixed up some lines here. I think I might have. I'll go for f3, I guess. The idea is that if pawn takes, I'll actually take with a queen. Because after queen takes d4, the knight on f6 is hanging. Maybe I should tell her that I am also streaming. Okay. Yeah, my position doesn't seem to be too good. I wonder why. What I mixed up in the theory. Something doesn't seem to be right here. I'll have a look after the game. I guess I'll take with a pawn on f3 now, maybe. Yeah, because the knight is no longer hanging on f6 and then the pawn on d4 is falling. After rook d1, of course, I get very many pieces developed, but I don't know if it's enough compensation. And next, I guess I want to play bishop e2. Though I don't know if I've mixed up fear, because this position doesn't look too bad. I do have the center, but I don't remember any line that goes like this. Yeah, I guess I'll play bishop e2, as I was intending to. Now a pawn is hanging on g4. I don't know if I want to take it, but maybe I do. Okay, if I take on g4, she wants to take on e4. I don't know if a3 is a good move to play. I guess I'll just play rook c1. It's a pretty simple move, so it might not be good. If c5, I'm going to have to take it. Yeah, this position is very rich strategically. Hard to play, playing it for the first time. I guess I will go for b3. Now my knight isn't as defended, but I want to break apart the structure. Oh. I guess I'll actually take with a queen on b3. If he takes back. Okay, goes here. This makes sense. I have to move bishop d2 now. And queen c2. Okay, I guess I'll go bishop d2. I'm starting to get a bit low on time somehow. My opponent has been playing very well. Unfortunate. Now it becomes very sharp and messy. Okay, I guess I'll take on d7 first. Knight takes d7. And then maybe take on c5, or probably take on c4, to be honest. Also looks a bit good. Yeah, this looks better, perhaps. If pawn takes d4, then I will take on b5. Maybe if she takes on c4, I'll play d5. Yeah, what a messy position. I guess I have to go to an endgame if she wants to. Now I'm threatening knight d6, I guess. I've been able to win my pawn back, so I think white is slightly better here. Or actually maybe a bit better, but this position is very unclear. Okay, I think my opponent blundered the move knight d6. The only thing is the knight might be getting trapped on b7 after I take. So after queen b6 I don't see how to defend my knight. Actually I have the move c5 maybe with the idea of c6, that's pretty smart. So queen b6 I have the move c5 I think. Because if she takes on b7 then I will play c6. And then take on d7 and I end up being a piece up. Funny to be playing another streamer. I wonder if she's a big streamer. Maybe I should check her stream out after this game. I guess I will castle. Oh, I have to be careful. Fortunately d3 doesn't work because black's king is pinned, but that was a bit careless of me. If it would have worked I would have been a very sad man. Guess I'll take on d3 we check, and then on f3. Oh, maybe I'll throw in a check actually, and then I can consider even taking with the rook. Yeah, I think taking with the rook is simply better. Though honestly my opponent could resign by now, because I'm up an entire bishop. Her king is terrible. Then after king e8 I'll play queen d7 checkmate. Let's have a quick look at the game. I'm curious if I actually mixed up theory, or if I'm just so unfamiliar with the line that I don't know. Because I have never played this before, but a good friend of my grandmaster Frode Urkedal showed me this line. Exactly this. Yeah, the move h5 I don't remember somehow, which is very strange. So what did I do wrong? Because this is exactly how it's supposed to go. Maybe I'll check it with ChessBase after the game, because I'm confused what I did wrong. Ah yeah, castling, and I guess my rook is very strong and open on the f-file, which will become open. Wow, knight takes f7. I didn't see this idea. And why does it work? After knight b7, knight takes f7. Let's see what happens, guys. Do I take on g4? Uh-huh. Alright. Let's say king e7. g5, knight g. Okay, but this is messy, but okay, I get a lot of pawns. Yeah, what a beautiful sacrifice this would have been. Whoa, I was this much worse. I didn't know, I thought it was like roughly equal. Oh, it's kind of funny, I thought white was better here, but the computer says black is better. Fortunately though, my opponent blundered. And here I had the resource c5, so I am actually winning a piece. Then I won the game pretty smoothly, but wow, I didn't think my position was this bad. Let's play another game, guys. Alright, let's see what I get. I get Mel Bullock from some kind of place. Wait, what was the line again? I think something like this was supposed to be interesting. d3, okay, now I can get the center. This could maybe transpose to some kind of Benko gambit when white is a tempo up. Okay, I'll play a5 to prevent the move b4. e5, I guess, followed by knight g7. I can take on e3, but I don't think it's too good. Pawn takes e3 maybe. Though it's unclear because they have the move e4, I guess I'll check it out after the game. f5 is an interesting change to the structure of this position, but it's a bit risky. a4 is a tempting positional move. A bishop d7 looks okay, so that after a4 I have ideas of knight a5 and the pawn is supported by the bishop. I guess my opponent wants to move his knight and then go for the f4 pawn break. Fair enough. Now I can definitely go for b5 with a move like queen a5 or something. I could try and play f5 myself. It looks kind of interesting. A few ideas in this position. I'll go for queen a5 with the idea of b5. Not sure if it's the best idea, but it's some kind of idea. b5, I wonder if my opponent could play f5 here. If worst comes to worst, I'll just play f6. Now I don't think he can anymore because my knight on c6 is defended, so after f5, pawn takes f5, pawn takes f5, I have bishop takes f5. Though it would have been an interesting sacrifice, of course, it's not completely out of the question. Play knight a5, I guess, sacrificing a pawn, but then I want to play knight b3 and get his bishop on c1, which is potentially very strong. So my idea is knight b3 with this move. If knight takes a5, I guess I'll take with a rook. Knight c6 seems kind of logical with the idea of knight takes e5. And then I will put pressure on the d3 pawn. I guess I have ideas of c4 at some point in this position. His pawn on b2 is a backwards pawn, so I think black is better here. Black has a better structure. And I don't really believe that he has any serious attack going for him. He gives up the bishop pair like this. This is definitely not a good idea. He's also left with a pretty bad bishop. I guess I'll go bishop g7. Bishop d6 with the idea of queen b8 was also interesting, of course. Next I maybe want to play rook b8 with the idea of queen takes b2, starting to put pressure on his backwards pawns. Then he might have counterplay with knight g5 though. Then I'll play f6. Though he gets queen c4 ideas, so I have to be somewhat careful. Though I don't really see how he can execute this idea. Bishop h6 with the idea of bishop e3 looks interesting. Yeah, let's do it. The bishop will be very powerful on e3. I guess I will play bishop e6 with the idea of c4. This is a very nice position for black. I guess king g7 is an improvement to every position, so I'll play it here as well. Do I need to be careful of queen c3? Actually, it's never a problem. I could always retreat. Next, maybe I want to trade off queens with the move queen b3. I think the move c4 works out tactically for me. Because if knight takes c3, I can take on c4. Though the position after bishop takes g4 is also clearly better for me because I have the better bishop. But I don't see the problem with c4 either, so I'll go for the move c4. Seems more dynamic. And if it works, then why not? Yeah. This I missed. Wow, now my opponent has very serious counterplay. This idea I missed. Wow. Oh wow. Now I think he's winning. I don't see how yet, but there should be some kind of win in this position for my opponent. Wow. It's crazy. Careful, play king e8. I have to be really careful in this position. Next, after e5, I guess I will throw in the move e2 to discoordinate his rook. I think e5 is the best move so he doesn't trade queens. Though queen h4 is maybe possible with the same idea, but then I could take on g4. Ooh, now I am winning again, that's good to see. I was about to lose a winning position, that would have been a very unfortunate one. Okay, I'm glad to see that he even trades queens. This simplifies my task. Even though the task was already quite simple. Rook b3, very technical move defending the pawn. I love taking pawns, it gives me so much satisfaction to play moves like rook takes c5. I gave him bishop here, but doesn't really. And let's take every single pawn I can. Let's get a queen as well. Yeah, it never hurts to have a little queen. He obviously doesn't have anything here with almost no pieces remaining. I just have to be careful not to lose on time, thinking about how great my position is. And he finally resigns. Let's have a look at the game, and let's see if I'm able to find the win for my opponent. Let's see if the chat are saying anything. Alright. Yeah, I've heard this is a very interesting line, but here d4 is best, going into some kind of Grunfeld. Because otherwise, after the move d3, black is able to get the center. And black should be good. Executed the move b5, which the computer doesn't like too much. This is logical, yeah, because his structure is a bit weak. Can I play f5 here? No, I can play the annoying move queen c7, pinning this pawn. Yeah, that looks kind of annoying for him. Slightly annoying. I guess I'll remember the idea queen c7, pinning the king on h2, pinning a pawn. This he didn't play, of course. And here, I was very surprised. Maybe he has to, but it's a very ugly decision when you have to give away a bishop. The problem is this light squared bishop. There are also very many pawns on light squares. So this bishop will be a dominating piece. I guess king g7 was unnecessary. Yeah, I should have gone for the simple bishop takes g4, I guess. The move h5 I missed. And suddenly my opponent has some counter chances. Yeah, I thought e5 here, and I thought I would play e2. But then there is a check, yeah, and a perpetual. Wow. Fortunately, my opponent simply blundered a piece when he had a perpetual. Yeah, a bit careless play there, but I got him in the end. Alright, let's play another game, guys. Let's see who I get. I get ocean blue. I guess I'll go for d4. c4. Knight f3. c3. This is a very theoretical position with black having many options. He goes for the Tarrasch, fair enough. Let's see if he takes back with the pawn or the knight. Okay, I guess we'll go for the main system with g3, bishop g2. I don't have that much knowledge here, to be honest. I've seen this very trendy move taking on d4 and then going bishop c5. I think knight b3 is the move you're supposed to play then, or maybe take on c6 then. This was something I think Magnus Carlsen played in some kind of blitz game. I think this is one of the moves for sure. Maybe taking on c5 is another move. I think taking on c5 is the move that John Bartholomew recommends. Guess I'll go rook c1. If c4, then I have the move b3. I had also the interesting idea of taking on f6 and then taking the pawn on c5. It is very greedy. It gives up the bishop pair, but a pawn is a pawn. After all. Here I thought the move b3 would be strong, but I guess the move knight e5 is also interesting. Though b3 I don't see the problem with this move, so I will go for it. I guess an idea for him is bishop a3. I wonder if I could then take on c4 or do something interesting. Probably not. Knight e5 is a tempting move for sure. Yeah, let's do it. Though still bishop a3 is an idea. Which move to try out? This will actually take and play queen b3. It doesn't look too stupid. Let's see if he takes d4, takes. I think I win enough material. If he takes on e5 and then goes d4, I think he can take on f6. He goes for the simple move, fair enough. Still think I have the same idea with knight takes c5, pawn takes c5, but now the pawn on d4 is even pinned, so that's definitely in my favor. I guess I have the idea of queen a4 with the idea of knight c6. This is definitely a move I might play in the near future. Though he might have knight b2, a little fork. A little fork, which would be unpleasant to miss. I've seen that you often actually take here. So I'll take here. If rook takes c4, I guess I'll play e3. Though I have ideas of knight takes d5, but I don't think they really work. Though they might actually work. Aha. Interesting. They might. If he takes with a pawn, I'll play queen a4, and if bishop takes d4, I have e3. Let's see, knight takes d5. Bishop takes d5, rook takes c4, takes. That looks good for me. Okay, I'll just keep it simple and play e3, because he gets to take on d4 in the end, so I'm not sure if knight takes d5 is a good move. His pawn on d5 is definitely weak, and I think white is better despite black having the bishop pair, because white has a lot of pawns on the opposite color of the g2 bishop, which I think is a very great benefit. Knight takes d5 seems to simply win a pawn. Yeah. Guess I will pre-move taking on c1, in case he takes on c1. Okay, I can take on c4 with rook, or I can take on d5. I think it might be better to take on d5. Yeah, I'll pre-move taking on c1. Now just a pawn up. I also might have some pressure on f7, but I don't know how strong it really is. Okay, this is a playable move, but I don't see it as a very strong move. So we'll go rook c6 with the idea of queen c4, trying to penetrate on the c-file. He has rook d8, and then I'll play bishop f3, followed by queen c4. Yeah, I don't see the problem with the move queen c4. The idea is rook c7, of course. I don't really think he can mate me on the light squares with h3 because I have a light squared bishop. So it's always good to be a tiny bit careful. And this move is kind of smart because it kicks back my bishop. I have the move e4, but I don't know if I want to play it. Though e4 with the idea of e5 in some positions is definitely interesting. So e4, queen g4, then he gets a tiny bit of counterplay, so I guess it's just better to be safe with the move bishop f3. Maybe I shouldn't have given him the move queen f5. He's left to play bishop g2 then. Though now with his rook on d8, I definitely have rook c7 ideas. For sure. I guess I will play this move. I don't see the problem with bishop g2. Bishop f1, I guess. Now the pawn on h3 is incredibly weak. But he also has some mating ideas, so I have to be quite careful. Okay, this is a pawn. I don't see how he can punish me for taking it. a4 seems pretty smart. And he resigns because my position is winning. Let's have a quick look at the game, guys. He went for d4. He went for the Tarsh. This has become very trendy nowadays. And there is a very strong grandmaster from Greece who's written a book on it. Yeah, I guess rook c1 is a very slow move, yeah? Here maybe... Yeah, I wonder if I can take a pawn like this. Because black... Yeah, I don't really believe in it for white. I was also thinking about taking here. And then capturing on c5. Maybe this is kind of okay. It seems to be the better version. Then pawn takes c5 and then bishop takes f6. Yeah, rook c1 is a slow move, but maybe it's not too bad. It looks logical. Oh, f4 with the idea of f5. Yeah, this idea I have to remember. Ah, yeah, the computer finds the move knight takes d5. I should have thought of this idea. Ah, of course I should take with a bishop. Or should I? Is there really a big difference? Ah, the computer is so smart. Wait, what was the move order? This idea here, yeah? I missed this. Because rook d8 first, and I can simply take on f6. Wow, he could have taken on d4 even though I protected it with d3. I'll remember this original tactic. Here, did I actually allow any counterplay? I don't think I had too much counterplay, to be honest. Alright guys, I'll play another game. I guess it'll be the final game of the stream. I'm playing Esma00. I guess I will go for the move d5, knight f6. I'll try the system with bishop f5 this time. e6. Okay, d4 I don't really like, because then white loses the idea of playing d3, e4. I guess I'll play the slow move h6, so that after knight h4 I have the move bishop a7. I'll play a5 because my opponent has a weak square on b3. I guess I'll take like this. Then I will castle. My opponent has been playing incredibly fast and also not the best, I think. This move really weakens his structure. This is not a good move. It also gives up a pawn, I think. Maybe I should have taken with the knight, but I don't know if it matters. I actually have the idea of g5 in this position, which is a bit interesting. Turns out I'm just winning a pawn, and my opponent's structure on the king side gets destroyed in the process as well. So this is very good for me. I just need to get my pieces out and then the game is over. I was about to play knight d7, but then I would lose the game. That would have been a very sad blunder after queen f5. So I guess I'll just go knight a6. Have to retreat all the way. This is not what I had intended. I guess rook e8 is the move I want to make next. My opponent is trying to be cheeky and create some kind of attack. Interesting. Queen d5 is a tempting move. What happens after queen d5? I don't see the problem with this move. I thought queen d3 check. Queen g3 is maybe also possible. Rook g8 I can play if I absolutely need to. I guess I'll play it to be safe. It's not the move I want to make, but I don't see why it should be that bad to play. Yeah, rook e8, a8, getting my rook into the game and even threatening mate. My opponent sees it. I guess I'll play rook e4, trying to exchange off his attacking rook on g4. I guess I'll play knight b4. With the idea of knight, I'll take on g4 first, and then I will play knight c2. I just have to be careful of the move bishop takes h6, king takes h6. Yeah, I don't see the problem. Because suddenly I can't take with a pawn after bishop takes h6. I need to take with a king. But I don't see how my opponent could use that fact to his advantage. See which move to play. I guess I will take on e3. And now, what should I do? This queen e6 is not too stupid of a move. My structure gets slightly weakened, but I get the queens exchanged if he takes on e6. And if he doesn't, then his queen will be on a verse square, I think. I've played this game incredibly slowly, but I still have some time left on the clock. Yeah, I'm up a pawn, and my opponent shouldn't have any compensation, so this should be good. I have the move e5. Yeah, I win the pawn back after pawn takes rook e8. I don't see what my opponent could do. So this should be very good. I get rid of my weak pawn. Usually when you're pressing for the win, it's not in your favor to trade off pawns. But I guess when it's a weak pawn, then it's a bit better. Because then your opponent doesn't have counterplay. The pawn on h5 could potentially become incredibly weak. The pawn on b7 maybe could be a little weakness. Rook e8. Yeah, this is a very passive way to defend. I guess he'll be greedy and play rook e4 and pick up a pawn. There is no way he can prevent the loss of a pawn now. I think e4 is the best move, so that he loses the pawn on e4 instead of the pawn on b3. Because if the pawn on b3 falls, then the pawn on a4 will fall soon as well. I didn't notice my opponent has the exact same rating as me. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't see any reason to hesitate taking the pawn. I'll play king g8 so I prevent ideas of rook f7. And then I want to play rook b4 next. I guess we'll go b6 with the idea of rook b4. I'll play king f7 so that my opponent can't play rook e6 and try to attack my pawns or something. I gave him this. I guess those pawns run so fast that I will give away. That I won't bother taking on a4 and just try to queen my pawns instead. Because I really believe that my pawns are going to run up the board incredibly fast. Yeah, I don't believe he can take on g7. Pawn seems a bit too fast for me. Yeah, it seems as if the a-pawn simply queens. I don't see what my opponent could do, guys. Do you guys see it? Alright, my opponent resigned. He didn't see it. Let's have a quick look at the game. I went for this risky... Yeah, d4 it's a possible line to play, but I don't really like it. You lose ideas of d3, e4. Okay, I don't know if a5 is necessary. I think knight a6 is also a good move, with the idea of using the weak square on b4, because now white has moved both his c-pawn and a-pawn and c-pawn in a way that they no longer can defend the b4 square, so no pawn can defend the b4 square, and it's weak. Now this is of course a catastrophe for my opponent. I was greedy here and took the pawn, which honestly makes sense. A pawn is a pawn after all. And here, wow, the computer really doesn't like the move knight a6. That's interesting. Instead claims I should have played f5 prophylaxis against the move rook e4, so that I could play queen takes e4. And then I get knight d7. f5 is actually a very smart move, because it defends against both rook e4 and against queen f5 after knight d7. Wow, apparently my opponent could get a very strong attack after king h8 by going rook a3, with the idea of swinging over another rook. Yeah, he has a lot of pieces attacking. Though... queen d7 maybe. Okay, he has some attack for sure. Here his attack is much smaller. Yeah, he had the active move rook f3, but then after king g6, okay, I'm just up a pawn. In the game he went to h5, which gave me the move e5, and suddenly his position became very bad and I was able to collect a few pawns and then win the game convincingly. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the stream, see you in the next.